Billin of Town Murph.
Top Billin villains.
Hey, yo, not much positive to glean from an ass whooping like the Bucs put on the Eagles. However, we must get to a few of the positives before I talk about all the bullshit that I want to see eradicated after the bye. My man Quinyon Mitchell going against Big Mike Evans here. This is a really good rep from a rookie, right? You can see the spacing there, split the difference. Fight the hands. Really good stuff right there. Actually, let's go right here. Great base whiff by the kid. My man has a really good technique there. Very polished kid, right? All he needs is more and more experience, and he'll be able to do exactly what you want him to do right there. But immediately, Mike Evans is able to, of course, get that space that he wants because it's a Fangio defense, and very rarely are you going to see hands on man there. So no pre-snap warfare. So if you're Quinyon Mitchell, you're automatically in FEMA mode, having to recover. But look at that, playing the eyes, right, or reading the eyes, and then going to play the ball by way of the hands right there. So when Mike starts to track right there, you can see his hands get up, right into shooting range, right into shooting range. And then he starts to play the hands. That's exactly how you're supposed to do that right there. Bang, right? Going to want to make sure that you get into range before you start worrying about the hands. And he does just that. And breaks up a pass right there. Quinyon Mitchell, your rookie, getting some valuable experience. Coming to the game, you had to know it was going to be a different game plan from the Eagles defense. The Saints definitely need to run the ball to be able to open up the pass. The Bucs, not so much, man. They have a wealth of receivers, some really high-quality receivers. They have a pretty good offensive line. And, of course, Baker Mayfield is dialed in. But you can't help them out, right, if you're Fangio. This is what I hate about that Fangio scheme. I'm sorry. Way too many spacing issues there. Now, a guy like Quinyon Mitchell, you draft him because he is very good in zone. He was very good in off-man. And, of course, we know he can play man coverage. But some of this shit is just like layups, man. You get a route like this from Sterling Shepard. Look at that. Run it vertical. There's nothing you can do, especially if you're playing this goofy bend but don't break stuff. To me, that's a little bit late in the game right there to be playing bend but don't break type coverage, right? You're already in the roaring 20s, right? You're in the roaring 20s and you're still playing spacing, right? Look at that. Wow, you want him to drive on this, right? He has to be a little bit conservative because guess what? You're going to get caught flat-footed. That could very well be a touchdown there. So you're going to have to give up a little bit of grace, right? Give him a little bit of grace, work out of your pedal, and then drive on the ball there. But, I mean, with a on-time throw, there's nothing you can do about this. And you give him a little bit of yakety yak. Come on, man. Sirianni, don't come back. A little bit better result right here from Darius Slay. Now, this is zone. You can see him with eyes on the quarterback, right? He's not peering at the man. So he's able to read this, and Baker Mayfield almost makes a terrible mistake. He automatically reads it right away. A veteran like that, being able to watch the quarterback and then see what the receiver's going, right? Reading those routes, peeks it inside right there, almost gets himself a pick. So in some instances, right, when you go to those zone coverage, right, when you go to that type of zone coverage there and you're able to actually pair the quarterback, somebody like Slade would do good. I actually think that he's been doing fairly decent with the zone stuff, a lot more than I thought he would maybe earlier in his career when he was in Detroit and all that, right? He's actually a very good zone player. Don't look at the results of the play. Look at the action created here. Now, when you have these fab pressure schemes, right, and you get vacations from the defense, you want to see your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, be able to quickly recognize that and be on the same page as a receiver. We see here with Paris Campbell. Obviously, to me, if it's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, maybe the results are a little bit different. But I like the application of this, right, being able to replace those hots. Hit that bad boy right there. He doesn't even have to get upfield much. Maybe you drift up the field a little bit more to get some yardage, but you could tell he read this perfectly, right? Vacation comes, bang, hit him right there. Paris Campbell just needs to get upfield, but I like that. That's thinking the game through there, right? But this was a comedy of errors to me from the offense and the defense, right? You had a ton of bad pass protection, which you rarely see from the Eagles like that. And I'm talking about across the board. Even your stalwarts like Mailata, Landon Dickerson, these guys getting beat clean for sacks. So you can see the vacation there. And Jalen Hurts able to hit that there. So building on little shit like that, right? You got to try to find a little bit of positives going into a bye week where you got to get some guys healthy, man, straight up. And when you do jump in man coverage, there's no alternate plan. Now, this is hard to defend. You got Vontae Maddox here going against Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin on that rocket motion here, and then they snap the ball, right, and then get him to the flat. If you're Vontae Maddox having to cross all that traffic, right, you crossing the Delaware, right, you crossing the Delaware, the school kill and everything to try to get out there to the flat, that's simple. Pitch and catch right there. Just out scheming them, right? Out scheming them, poor tackling, poor run fits. Back to that shit again. You just knew, right? Right away, I was like, damn, this is not going to be a good game right now. To some of those guys' credit, a lot of those guys were out there battling still. But, I mean, they're professional NFL players. That goes without saying. You should always be battling. You made it to the highest level. But some of those guys were definitely out there giving it their all, despite the fact that, obviously, right, very hot game, right, but it's hot for both teams. And you got them running a lot of plays. You're unable to get off the field as a defense, all kinds of stuff going wrong. And, of course, the injuries there. But, man, make no excuses. And the Tampa Bay Bucs are just a damn good team, man. You got to give it up to those guys. Very similar deal right here. Now, you're going to have man coverage. So they shoot Rachaad White to the flat. Obviously, Dean's going to be on him. So with that happening, right, you got to follow that motion across. They set this up perfectly. Dean's going this way, and then you get the inside receiver who Darius Slay is on right here, kind of in outside technique. He quickly runs to the inside, I think it was Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slay has to try to navigate the sanitation right here. Man, absolutely insane, right? Great play design right there. Look at that. So a natural pick happens, not even using the offensive player, right? They pick the defense, right, like mind control. Like we have mind control over you like Debo, right? So you see Nakobe Dean right here. How the hell is Darius Slay going to get there, right? So the answers are the answers on the test. If you see something like this, can you quickly navigate it and call off a blitz or something, right? Maybe instead of sending Bond, you're like, all right, we see this right here. Maybe it's time for Bond to drop back, and then boom, there you go. You probably have a pick. It's got to be some answers happening on the fly, man. Can't just vacate the middle of the field because you're in man coverage and you're kind of used to more zone concepts there. So that's easy pitch and catch. Can't have that, bro. Real rap. Thus far, the Bryce Huff trade has been an unmitigated disaster. I wish he was still on the Jets, right? As somebody with a rooting interest in both teams. I wish he was still on the Jets, and I wish Hassan Reddick was still on the Eagles. I wish those guys could be swapped out for each other somehow, some way, right? Not having an edge presence, a dominant edge presence right now is definitely hurting the defense. And the inability to shut down one half of the field at the very least as far as the rushing game goes there. So Nolan Smith too, right? As bad as Bryce Huff has been, you've gotten nothing from Nolan Smith, right? You see him right here, bang, right? Ushered up out of the club by the tight end, right? You see him getting manhandled by tight ends. So Noah's a young guy in his second year, right? You're expecting him to take that leap. I've seen some second-year leaps thus far, right? It's still early in the season. You can't speak definitively on anything. But I've seen some second-year guys really take it to the next level right there. And Nolan Smith has not necessarily been one of them, even with the increased playing time right here. So, I mean, he almost does his job by default here from getting cleared out the club, right, on this zone run. Irvin has to cut the ball back in here, right, but he's able to stay kind of front side with it and stay on a different type of crease than if the edge was actually set there. You know, he's able to shake loose right there, and you know the rest there, but come on, man. The edge, nasty work, man. Got to get that edge better. Now, I thought this was interesting from your man Fangio. You're in your base 34. However, you're sending Dean here. So you got a tight end on the field. If you're in man coverage, of course, you know Bond's going to have to work that there. So this leaves Nolan Smith in man coverage on Chris Godwin, of all people, on the inside right there. And Nolan didn't look too out of place on this right here. Just a great throw and a great catch. Look at him, cross face there, and the ball's out exactly where it needs to be there. Not a bad rep from Nolan Smith right here. Able to come out, catch, absorb that energy right there. Got to let go of the waist, though, but almost trying to propel himself, and just that close out. A worse throw, man, he might have had himself a pass deflection on the Chris Godwin, right? Like I said before, man, I would love to see this guy moved off the edge and moved into a linebacker position full time. But, hey, it is what it is. From a personnel standpoint, I love this. This is your dime set, and they bring in Keely Ringo, take out Nakobe Dean in a passing situation. Makes all the sense in the world to me. Running man coverage, so that means your boy Ringo here ends up matched up on tight ends a lot. I actually think he could be a superstar as a strong safety in the NFL, matched up with tight ends there. Not so sure about him on the outside as a corner, but, I mean, we shall see in the future there. But that man going against tight ends and everything, that will be dope. So this was a very good set here by the Philadelphia Eagles there, but there was nobody left to spy. You send an edge, right? You send your edge on that twist right there. Bang, you fabbing that pressure there, sending that edge exchange, and then nobody's there, and Baker Mayfield is able to escape out the side door there. So, but I like the application of that right there. Keely Ringo being brought in the game as damn near a pseudo safety, call that big nickel maybe. I mean, like that is a dime set, right, in personnel instances, but you can almost label him as a dime linebacker in a situation like that. So keep that in mind right there. Get more speed on the field, just trying to find out different ways to give guys their medicine, right, in different applications. I don't know, man. So listen, I want to come back with the R22 and really get into some stuff right here. So I just want to kind of get some preliminary thoughts out with this one here. I just left a bad taste in my mouth. No Diddy. Heading into the bye week. But, you know, of course, got to get healthy. Some of your best players, if not all, right, all your best players are damn near unhealthy there. Got to get more consistency from guys on the inside on defense as well, right? Talking about Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and these guys like that. Can't have one game or sandwich in between a few non-existent games, right? Or non-impactful games. Got to get better on the edge. A lot of stuff to work on for the Philadelphia Eagles, man, in a very tough NFL. So we shall see. But these boys got to play the Eagles too, and I expect coming out of that break, man, some shit to change. And the Eagles may be hell on wheels. Even with all that said, man, you're probably one drop pass away from Saquon Barkley from being 3-1. So keep that in mind there. So I don't know. But as always, man, much love to everybody out there who supports. If you don't support, man, I don't know what to tell you. You know your boy be bringing that quality content, that hibachi. So make sure you tip your waiter. You know I'll be serving that hibachi, man. All right? Big salute out there to everybody.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.